Call 800-6...
And why the hell not? And now, a man who believes your life can be improved by these two words. More television. Dave.
Listen to this. Listen to this. I learned this last night. I'm sitting at home and I'm watching, oh, by the way, my name is Dave. Welcome to the show. So, last night I'm at home and on cable I'm watching an old Jacques Cousteau special, or as they say in France, Jacques Cousteau. And I learned something I think could be invaluable. 9 times out of 10, you can successfully ward off a shark attack simply by saying, scoot. All day long, I've been waiting to say the word scoot here on TV. Tomorrow, Bruce Springsteen turns 40 years old. Saturday. And they asked him about his future plans, and he said, I would just like to get fat and sloppy like Elvis. So, that's... Thank you very much. God bless you. You're a wonderful audience. The United States Congress now, some kind of a fact-finding committee has recommended that body give itself a 35% pay increase. 35% pay increase. Now, I know what you're saying. Gosh, Dave, that seems like a lot of dough. Well, look at it this way. Under the current salary schedule, a congressman really has to struggle to support himself and a chauffeur/lover. So I don't think that 35% is asking... Scoot. Shark attack. That's what you do, the shark attack. Yeah. Oh, that's it. Hey. Well, according to the New York Times business section now, Avon Products has reduced now its projected earnings for 1989, and apparently they feel that they must do so because Tammy Faye Baker will be tied up in court now and won't have a chance to be out there shopping for cosmetics. Oh, stop. No. Normally, at this point of the show, I would be a bitter, frustrated, broken, crushed, lonely human. But now, tonight, I don't care because we have such an unbelievable program here. Listen to who we have. We have time for the big show? If I would get on with it, we'd have... in it, she's lovely. Her name is Julia Sukhanova.
Yeah, the audience thinks it's a joke, but it's true. It's the actual...
Julia?
It's the actual Miss...
It's what? What did I say? Julia Sukhanova. Julia Sukhanova. She's here. 17 years old. And then we have a surprise here in just a minute. How was your day? Anything nice happen?
I had a lovely time. I spent it with warm, kind, wonderful friends.
What is this, Thanksgiving?
I don't know. It was a regular day. How was yours?
It was okay. You know, now that I'm nearing the end of my commute, it's been like 8 difficult years of commuting every day. Now that is nearly over, the commute is, of course, improving. The repairs, the repaving on the hutch, that's almost finished.
Now you're moving
Getting
into town.
across town is almost finished. And it happened again today. If you drive here in New York City and maybe other towns around the United States and even around the world, guys will come up to you with big jugs of Windex and squeegees, and they'll clean your windshield. And I've never figured out how you handle that exactly. What do you do when that happens, Paul?
I turn on the wipers.
Yeah. See, I don't do that. I think that's mean. I don't think you should do it. A guy could lose a hand, and then there's going to be a lawsuit.
No,
so I always try.
I don't turn the wipers.
The guy sneaked up on me today, and it's, you know, there's nothing wrong with my windshield. And I said, please don't clean my windshield. It's spotless. And he just kind of laughed, and then he went ahead and he started to clean my windshield. And then I started yammering and screaming like an infant, saying, I have no money for this. I can't afford for you to be cleaning my windshield. Thinking that he would sense a deadbeat and then leave. And he didn't. He completed the job and cleaned it again, so now once again it's spotless, and I have no money. And then he comes to me and he says, could I have some money? And I said, I don't have any money. So I gave him like a token to get through the bridge up there. That's all I had.
Well,
it's worth $1.25 if this guy ever has his own car and is ever leaving town. As a matter of fact, I think he said he summered up on Martha's Vineyard, so when he travels, it was awful.
We interrupt this program for an NBC News special report. Here is Tom Brokaw.
Good evening once again from New York, where a U.S. air flight apparently headed from LaGuardia Airport in New York to Charleston, South Carolina, crashed on takeoff tonight and split in two, at least part of the plane going into the East River. 55 passengers on board, 7 crew members. So far, no reports confirmed of any deaths, and apparently serious injuries were confined to just a few people. There is the one report, at least, that one person may have died, but a number of people have already been rescued from this plane, which was submerged, at least in part, in the East River, just off of the end of the runway at LaGuardia here in New York. It was a U.S. Airlines flight from New York to LaGuardia, or rather to Charleston, South Carolina, that went down on takeoff during heavy rains and strong winds in that area, although we don't know, in fact, whether weather was a factor. A number of rescue units now have responded to that area, 60 altogether, that have been summoned from the boroughs throughout the city of New York. As I say, passengers were able to get out onto the wing of the airplane in one case. A number of them were seen, in fact, in a raft. We are told by people at the scene that so far there are no confirmed deaths. It does appear that most of the people on board apparently have survived. At least this is not going to be a massive tragedy, but we don't have the numbers for you yet. The flight number was Flight 5050. At first it was reported that it was headed for Charleston, North Carolina. Now there has been a correction of that. It was headed for Charleston, for Charleston, South Carolina. We had an initial report that it was headed for Charlotte, North Carolina. It was headed for Charleston, South Carolina, U.S. Air Flight 5050. It was a Boeing 737 with 55 on board. We are still awaiting confirmation on the number of survivors and, in fact, to determine whether any people were killed or, in fact, seriously injured. We do not yet have that information for you. We will tell you that if you stay tuned to this NBC News station, we'll keep you posted throughout the evening and throughout the morning on this crash of U.S. Air Flight 5050 on takeoff from LaGuardia Airport in New York, headed for Charleston, South Carolina. For now, I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News in New York.
This has been an NBC News special report. We now join our regularly scheduled program.
Are far from ideal conditions. You're bowling on linoleum tiling there, essentially, aren't you?
It looks to be that.
Okay, but your first attempt tonight will be just regular 10 bowling pins. Here we go. Good luck. Godspeed. Anton, here we go. Mike Albee, leading money winner on the PBA Tour. There it is. It's... Oh, man!
I'll take that.
Now, that's... Can he try and... Okay, wait a minute. Hold it. Now, can he convert? Can he try and pick this up?
Let's see.
This is when they have to start whispering. Okay. Can we get the ball back to him so he can a second try and pick up that? It's a very pesky split. Can he do it? Is he out there? Has he gone home? Hello. What's happening? How come I don't see? Oh, no, wait, now what happened? Wait a minute, what did I miss here? Did I black out? Did I have another one of my spells? I'm sorry, what exactly happened? Morty? He what?
They started to reset before you asked them to pick the set.
They started to reset?
Yes.
Reset what?
The pins.
Well, yeah.
You are having a spell.
Oh, okay. I thought it would be fun to see him pick it up, the spare.
They what?
They were helping.
Okay. Is Miss USSR out there? Now, that's not the spare that he was going to pick up.
It's a little closer.
Yeah. Oh. Well, somebody go out there and recreate the spare. It'll just take a second. Run out there. Just run out there and... What is going on out there? Hey! I'll do it. Jeez, hey! Hey. How do you do? I'm sorry you had to see this. Oh. Are we all set? No, that's not it. Here, I'll do it. No. He's going to pick up the split. Do you mind doing this?
Oh, no.
Okay. Which two were they?
The head. Oh, there it went. That's it.
Okay, now screw it. Let's see you do this one. I'll be back inside with Miss USSR. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Now we'll get a little something for our money here. Okay. Now, Anton? What is it? Chuck Scarborough. Oh, there it is. Oh! Man, very close. Okay. We'll try that a little bit later. Okay. Now, let's do our top 10, but he'll be bowling all evening, right? Okay, this will be good. Tonight's category, top 10 signs that Ronald Reagan is recovering. You know, he had that surgery. Very lucky man. He went in for a routine checkup. They found a problem. Brain surgery. He's recovering nicely.
Yeah.
Top 10 signs now that he is recovering. I'm a little winded. Number 10. He's starting to forget things again. Number 9. Just signed to fight George Foreman. Number 8, last night for the first time since operation, he sang along with the Three's Company theme. Number 7, returned to post on Sunset and Vine selling maps to the stars' homes. Number 6, puts up vigorous fight whenever Nancy just says no. Number 5, called around to see if they need any weapons. Number 4, can clearly distinguish between what he saw in a movie and what actually happened in a Broadway musical. Number 3, no longer takes naked strolls pushing empty wheelbarrow. Now leaves wheelbarrow at home. Number 2, came out of anesthesia shouting, "Bush is president, we're doomed." And the number 1 sign that Reagan is recovering, because Nancy says so. There you go. Second, Morty, to check the hall and see how our bowler is doing?
Sure.
Let's just see what's going on out there now. There he is. Did you rent those shoes down in the lobby?
No, these are mine.
Okay, now, okay, just try one more.
Okay.
All right. So Mike, what would your score be now at the end of one frame?
Looks like 8.
Okay. And a little bit later, we'd like you to turn around and lob one into the elevator, okay?
That might be easier than this.
Okay, here we go. I'd like to see Siegfried and Roy do that. Oh my gosh, they're here. We'll be right back with Siegfried and Roy. Gentlemen, with us tonight we have Siegfried and Roy, perhaps the greatest showman in the world. Siegfried and Roy. Also Miss USSR.
Yeah.
And Mike Albee, professional bowler who's out on the hallway here on the 6th floor of the General Electric building. You know, Paul, bowlers really get the babes. All right, Mike, what are you going to do for us now?
Looks like the pins are getting a little smaller down. It looks like beer bottles.
All
from
right,
here
we go. Anton, what do we got there? Oh, man! What? Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. All right. This year, our first guests, listen to this, Paul. Our first guests made more money than Bruce Springsteen or Frank Sinatra put together.
What?
Yep, that's right. Yes, and Frank Sinatra put it, starting this Friday for 3 weeks, they will be performing at Radio City Music Hall right across the street. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to the masters of the impossible, Siegfried and Roy. Hi. Roy, nice to see you. Hi. Oh, my goodness. Whew. Wow. Okay. Hi. And who is, you have another one here. It's Siegfried and Roy and...
Yes.
And...
Red, white, and blue.
Hi.
Couldn't you figure that
How
out?
are you? And he's leaving. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, boy. What do we have here?
This is blue.
Uh-huh.
It's a male white tiger. who has been born in Japan on our world tour.
Oh, really?
And
are they safe to play with?
yeah, sure they are.
Yeah.
The Americans.
Oh, now this one seems a little skittish. Is it?
All right.
I would rather he didn't. I don't.
Okay.
That's all right.
Take this one.
No, give me another one. That's right. It's just like gum. Chew one up, spit it out. I see. I worry that he's going to do the same thing. So maybe you guys, since you know the animals, could. All right, everything's fine. Will they be all right there?
Sure they are.
Sure. Okay, fine.
I'll just
have a seat then.
That's right. Just feel comfortable, David.
How is the big world tour going?
Well, the world tour was fantastic. We were 11 months in Japan and in Tokyo and Osaka.
Live. See, now did I caution? You guys are the animal experts. Did I say they're going to topple off of it?
No one can take them home, you know. They all belong to Radio City Music Hall now.
How old are the little kitties now?
2 months old. They were born on the 4th of July.
The 4th of July.
We named
Red,
him
white, and blue.
White and Blue.
And are these rare animals?
Yes, they are. They're actually, the white tiger is already extinct in the wild. They're only a handful. In comparison to the panda bear, was like 1,200 around. They're just 100 around.
Now,
of this
when you guys are working, how many different jungle animals do you have on stage with you for the whole show?
We have tigers, lions, panthers, leopards,
27
jaguars,
exotic cats.
leopards, and of course, so 28 altogether, but we have a lot more of two-legged cats too.
I see.
Which I feel safer with this, guys.
Now I notice you have a little thing there, like a little somebody got you there. Was
Got
that done
caught
by
shaving.
No. Was that done by a cat?
Well, you know, Lynette Chappelle, the female lead in our show, sometimes she's real tough with me.
I see. But have you ever had any problems with the animals?
No, actually, I'm pretty much in tune with them, and we're having a good time. When you will see our show at Radio City Music Hall, I mean, we are disappearing, we are reappearing, we get shot out of cannons. And,
but you guys, are you experts in animal behavior? Do you know how to work with them and train them?
They live with us. They're part of our family.
Yeah.
We share everything together. It took us 4 747s to come back to New York. And,
really, to bring all of your animals and all of the equipment for the...
48 trucks from the airport right to here, 48 trucks.
So when people go to see the show at Radio City, they're seeing all of that equipment packed into that huge facility over there?
As you know, David, we performed now for 20 years in Las Vegas, and it's the first time we went out. We left Las Vegas, and we started in Tokyo. We performed for over 1 million in Japan.
Were the Japanese very excited about this?
Fantastic. They embraced us, a great audience. They loved us, and...
not only the geisha girls went wild, also Madame Butterfly. I mean, the whole country was fantastic for us. And we brought a lot of good memories home for them. The only thing what I don't want to do anymore is eating sushi.
No more.
No more.
Sushi.
That's it. You know, a good steak does it.
All right. And when we get back, we're going to get any more animals?
Well,
maybe not. We'll find out. Okay. We'll find out. We'll be back here with Siegfried and Roy. Welcome back to the program. I'm Dave. This is Siegfried. This is Roy. Good. Now, how did you guys start working together? What did you do before you were Siegfried and Roy?
Well, we have been in the hotel business, and I was bartender. I was on the ship, steward on the ship, and that's where we met Roy on the Bremen. That's about 30 years ago. And when we crossed the Atlantic from Bremerhaven to New York, and our first thing was, of course, Pier 88, walk up 48th Street and walked into the Radio City Music Hall. We got very excited, and a dream started. And now, after all these years, now we are there.
And did you travel on the road with this show and building it gradually, and then you work your way into Las Vegas, or did you start in Las Vegas?
First of all, we had an act starting on the ship, and then somebody saw us and made a command performance for Prince René in Monte Carlo. And from there, we went to the Lido in Paris. And then in Lido in Paris, somebody saw us again from Las Vegas, and they gave us a 3-month contract.
And you went there, and you've been there virtually nonstop ever since.
20 years now.
And it's like the big show to see in Las Vegas.
Exactly
it
what
would
happens.
be you, Wayne Newton, and that would be it, right?
Boy, yes.
But for
How
a
did he get into
for a long
that?
time, he was like the big deal, and now it's you guys, right?
Well,
Well, I don't know. We have some biggies in Vegas, I would say.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
make huge sums of money there, don't you?
Who says so?
Well, you got. I mean, geez, kitty litter alone is going to cost you millions.
Right. That's the way to spend it.
Yeah. What is the Jungle Land? That's where you live? Is that the?
well, we have a place where we
The
live
Jungle
together.
Palace? What is it called?
That's what the people call it. The people
What
of
do you
Las
call it?
Vegas.
Well, it's our
this is
home.
our home, you know.
So we share with the animals because they're part of our family.
Yeah.
They're part of our surroundings, and we figured they should live as good as we live.
What about the stench? Having all those cats in that place? Is it? Do you have a lot of property though?
It's about 58 acres.
And how many animals?
We have altogether 28.
Oh.
And an elephant, you know. And
But you must have a staff taking care of them and vets and so forth on call.
We have the best in the business, and
Take very good care of the animals.
excellent.
Sure.
That's the first property. I mean, if you have a happy and a healthy animal, you can perform full, and that's what we do
And
here in the
also
Radio City
pardon
Music.
our illusions. We design the illusions basically around the personality of the animal. So whatever they do, they're very happy of doing.
Well, this was an amazing
Of course,
illusion.
when
We
Paul blows them the music right at it, you know. I mean, they think they have to act.
Oh, what?
Hi, Paul.
What did you do, Paul?
How did he get into the act, right?
and you're going to show us. You have a trick for us here.
Well, listen. Unfortunately, your studio is so small. You know, such a tiny studio. The elephant, unfortunately, it wouldn't fit in here.
Right.
But it wouldn't help you anyway. I have something much better for you. You know, my first trick, what I did, my first attention, what I get from my father, I want to show you.
Okay.
And not only show you, I think I'm going to teach you the trick. You have a family at home, you have friends, and so you
Friends and family. I have
Well,
both.
we're going to be competition.
friends and family. And so it happens. I have 2 salt shakers.
Salt
with me.
shakers.
Salt. And
Recently stolen.
That's right, exactly. Okay, even the price tag is on. Now, what you do is, salt is always, in ancient time, it was always used. Okay, a little blood here, I'm sorry.
Man, what
It's
is going
always
on here?
used.
Where did that come from?
Where did you use that? Use that, put it in your hands, just like this. And you push this over.
A little over.
Yes. You know, that keeps all the evil spirit away.
Not a minute too soon.
All the evil spirit away. Okay. Now what you
had
do,
this for rehearsal.
put the salt shaker in your right hand. Okay, just like this. Okay. And pour the salt in your left fist.
Right.
Okay, just like this. No, like this fist. Okay, like that. Okay. Then you put the salt shaker on the table.
Now, will a tiger
No,
come
no.
leaping in here?
Yeah, okay. No, that's enough.
That's enough. Of course,
Okay.
blood pressure and all,
Then
you have to be very careful.
Then you make a magic movement just like this. You blow against it. And the salt, of course, is disappeared.
That's right.
Of course, the salt is disappeared.
Wow.
All right. Now, what you do, of course, the salt, you can bring it back right from there.
yeah, a little.
It's 1, 2, 3.
Oh, my gosh, there you go.
Unbelievable.
That's the kind of thing you'll see on the great stage at Radio City Music Hall.
That's my first trick.
That was the very first one.
attention from my father,
Yeah.
and the first time he said, "How did you do that?" It's very simple how you do it.
Right.
Okay. When you pour the salt in your left fist, just do it again. All right.
All right.
Like that. Okay. Just like this. Paul, can you illustrate a running salt, please? Running salt. Okay. When you make the magic movement, okay, and you blow against it.
Right.
Blow against it. The only thing what you have to do, just push the salt in your left sleeve, just like this. Simple.
And
right?
it goes down your sleeve.
Yeah, but watch out. Don't hold your arm too high. Because then the salt runs down here, and it comes out on the other
over
side.
there. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Siegfried and Roy. Hey, see you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you for coming. We'll be right back.
He 15 years later, the man who played Darth Vader could end up in a wheelchair. On the next Entertainment Tonight, see how 6'6" muscle man David Prowse is battling the ravages of arthritis.
I've lost nearly 30 pounds in body weight since all this happened.
And find out about the radical operation that could put him back on his feet for good. From villain to victim, his courageous inside story is only on...
By Indianapolis bowler, a leading money winner on this year's PBA Tour. What do you have now, Mike?
Well, it looks like we're going to be bowling against some pitchers of Kool-Aid.
Pitchers of Kool-Aid. Here you go. Get ready, Anton. Pitchers of Kool-Aid. Mike Albee, 29 years old, left-hander from Indianapolis. 11 years on the PBA Tour, and now pitchers of Kool-Aid. All right. Oh my God! So what do? We load up again and take another shot? Okay. While they're loading up, let me tell you about the rest of tonight's program. Edgar Winter will be here, and Miss USSR. You
ready?
Okay. Here we go. Trying again now for the pitchers of Kool-Aid. Here we go. All right, Mike Albee. We'll check in with him a little bit later. Our next guest tonight is an author of this book, the author of this book. It's called The Friendly Drive, Forming a Happy Carpool. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bob Simpson. Bob? Hi, Bob. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Bob. And how are you doing?
Doing fine, Dave. Thanks for asking.
You know, Anton, excuse me, I was actually talking to our guest.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. So anyway, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate your trouble, and thanks for coming by.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Dave. You know, I'm here playing the drums with him anyway, so...
Bob, why exactly did you write the book?
I didn't write a book, but I'm thinking of writing a book on drumming.
Anton, you understand that I'm not talking to you right now, and that these questions are being addressed to our guest.
Yeah, well, you've been looking right at me while you've been asking, so I assumed it was for me.
Yeah, I understand, but it's just because the chairs are lined up this way. But I was talking to Bob, okay?
Yeah, well, how will I know when you mean to ask me a question?
I tell you what, you're going to have to use your own judgment in these matters. Mm-hmm. But there's a good bet for the next couple of minutes I won't be talking to you.
Okay.
Okay?
But I use my judgment, right?
That's right. Use your own judgment. Okay. All right, Bob. Excuse me for that. And so you're, I guess, in a carpool?
No, I like to, when I drive, I like to be alone, and I find that the solitude is good. I've got time to think.
Anton, how could you possibly think that question had anything to do with you?
That was right up my alley, that question.
All right, I'll tell you what, we'll try something else. If I have a question for our guest, I'll say Bob or Mr. Simpson, and then the question. If I have a question for you, Anton, I'll use your name.
Okay,
and
great.
then the question.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, good idea.
Anton
Thanks.
for you, Bob, Mr. Simpson for our guest.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Simpson, thank you very much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
And Mr. Simpson, what made you decide to write this book?
Well, you know, I've been in a lot of carpools, and I started wondering what makes some happier than others.
Yeah, yeah. And what is the origin of the word carpool?
It's a compound word made up of car and pool. I think.
Anton?
Yeah, well, you didn't say Bob, and you didn't say Mr. Simpson, and again, you're looking at me when you ask the question.
I can't keep saying Mr. Simpson or Bob before every question.
If it'll help, I think I can, maybe I can move my chair to a different angle.
Okay.
Okay.
Will that be all right with you, Anton?
Fine,
He's going to
definitely.
move his chair. So now, if I have a question for the guest, I'll be looking this way.
Okay.
If I have a question for you, Anton, I'll be looking this way.
Fine, that's fine.
Okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Now, what makes a happy carpool?
Well, I've never really given it much thought, Dave. Out of respect for the wishes of others, you probably shouldn't smoke.
Oh, shouldn't smoke, sure.
And remember, no one likes a show-off driver.
Okay, no one likes a show-off driver. Geez, Bob, thank you very much for dropping by. I'm sorry we're out of time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anton. Bob Simpson, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the hallway. Let's see what we're bowling for now. Yes, Mike, now what?
Ketchup, Dave, ketchup.
Ketchup. Bottles of ketchup. Here we go. Mike Albee, young left-hander from Indianapolis, Indiana. And
we got it.
Oh, this is a good one.
from the inside.
Last night we had Miss America on the program, Debbie Turner from Missouri, 1990 Miss America. Tonight, Miss USSR. Perfect, isn't it?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
She is the first ever national beauty pageant winner in the Soviet Union. Last May, she beat out 34 other contestants to become the first Miss USSR. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Yulia Sukhanova. How do you do? Welcome to the program. Do you speak English? Some English?
Just a little.
Just a little bit? До свидания. Did I
До
say?
свидания.
До свидания. What does that mean?
Здравствуйте.
It means hello, goodbye?
Hello.
Hello, goodbye. Whatever. Nice to see you. You're a lovely woman. До свидания.
До свидания.
We interrupt this program for an NBC News special report. Here is Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. A U.S. Air jetliner, a 737, headed from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina, crashed on takeoff tonight from LaGuardia Airport and plunged into the East River with 62 people on board. There are reports that 2 of the people have been killed in this crash. The latest now from WNBC's Chuck Scarborough with videotape coverage. Chuck?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. We have, in addition to the 2 killed, there are reports of people still being trapped inside the aircraft right now. Portions of the plane are underwater, as you can see here. This is video we're getting in at this moment from LaGuardia Airport. According to a passenger who was on board the aircraft, the takeoff began normally, and at some point down the runway, the pilot apparently tried to abort the takeoff, throwing the engines into reverse thrust. The plane was heading down runway 15 in rather heavy rain today. It's been raining all day in New York, and so the braking action would not have been terribly good on the airport. The plane went off the runway. It broke into 2 or 3 pieces, and you can see here rescuers pulling people out who were sitting on the left wing of the plane, and there's the rear portion of the aircraft broken off cleanly there underwater. And as I said, there are reports right now that there are people still trapped. You can see some people in the water there, perhaps a life raft. Yes, a life raft coming out there, rescuing some of the passengers on board that aircraft. According to one of the survivors, the plane was scheduled to take off at 7:20 Eastern Time this evening, and it was delayed possibly because of the bad weather that's been in the New York area. Finally began its takeoff roll at 11:25. It was bound for Charlotte, North Carolina. Earlier reports indicated it was bound for Charleston, South Carolina. They were inaccurate. It was Charlotte, North Carolina, the destination. Flight 5050, as we see the rescuing continuing. There was one person rescued who was extracted using what the firemen like to call the jaws of life, the hydraulically powered cutters that enabled them to cut through some of the wreckage and pull one person out. There are conflicting reports on the number rescued so far, but they include at least 13, according to the New York City Fire Department. As I said, one of them was pulled from a front seat by the jaws of life. The police on the scene described the front part of the aircraft as being hanging from a dock by a thread. There are reportedly divers in the water as well, looking underneath, looking for possible survivors or other victims. But as far as we know right now, there are 2 confirmed fatalities, according to the fire department, and there are other people possibly trapped in the rear section of the plane. And you can see what a difficult task it is to try to get in there as the plane settles into the water. No word yet on what caused it or why the pilot apparently tried to abort the takeoff, if that was the case. This is a 737-400. It's the world's most popular jetliner. Taking off this evening from LaGuardia Airport, bound for Charlotte, North Carolina. At 11:26, it went off the end of the runway. Tom, that's all we have right now for you.
Thank you very much, Chuck Scarborough. We want to remind everyone that that was a specially configured flight. You'll not find it in the airline guides, but airline personnel did tell us late tonight that, in fact, it was headed for Charlotte, North Carolina. 55 passengers on board, a crew of 7. 2 confirmed dead, as Chuck Scarborough indicated to us. There may be still more missing. We may not know until daylight. At any rate, NBC News will have continuing complete coverage on this air crash tonight of a U.S. Air 737 at LaGuardia Airport throughout the evening, and of course beginning tomorrow morning on NBC News at sunrise with John Palmer, followed by the Today program. I'll have complete details tomorrow night on NBC Nightly News, as we'll be keeping track of that, and of course the track of Hurricane Hugo. For now, I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News in New York.
This has been an NBC News special report. We now rejoin our regularly scheduled program.
All right. right. So do you think you'll have the opportunity to photograph some military installations while you're here? Let's go back to the hallway now with Mike Albee. And what do you got for us now, Mike?
Ming vases.
Ming vases. Here we go. Oh, my. It's a priceless collection. Yeah! Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.